Limbus Company. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think it's time for me to try to figure out why a lot of people glaze this game. I've seen a lot of people glaze Wuwa, people glaze Genshin, ZZZ, Arknights, Infield, Arknights. I've seen a lot of glazing in multiple communities. But when it comes to Limbus Company, the glazing for this game has been consistent. And whenever it comes to like drama or whatever, I never really see this game and the community in any sort of drama. So I'm very interested, right? I'm really interested to see what's going on here with this game. So we're going to be checking out this video. It's called I Played One of the Best Gacha Games Ever Made, and You Should Too. This video has 753,000 views. 7 months. So, hey man, we're gonna see what the hype is all about. And hey bro,
Gacha game.
dude, let me finish, bro. All right, let me finish. We're gonna see what the hype is all about. All right, and depending on how like I feel after I watch this video, maybe maybe I might get into the game. It really depends. But we're gonna watch this video and we're gonna see what's happening.
Can easily be seen as a bit of
If you're new here on the channel, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. I would really appreciate it.
an oxymoron. These games don't really have the best reputation for various reasons, whether it be players perceiving it as a ripoff of a popular game, gooner bait, low-quality slop, or, most notably, a predatory way to drain money away from consumers. So what makes a good gacha game then? How about one that actively hates money?
So yeah, Limbus Company, yes, this is a gacha game. So I am curious because a lot of people say that Limbus Company is not just a gacha game. It's not just a waifu simulator. A lot of people say that the game is different, right, compared to games like Genshin Impact, Wu, and etc. So I really want to see how this game is different, especially when it comes to like the gameplay, the story. Like I want to see why this game is different from all these other games.
You can have it. Say thanks. No!
This is Limbus Company, a turn-based RPG with more RNG built into the gameplay than its own gacha system that also happens to have one of the best stories I've ever seen in any media, period.
RNG built into the gameplay rather than the gacha system. That is very interesting.
There is little to no marketing for this game aside from Roblox and YouTube videos calling this the best gacha you've never heard about, and this is no exception to that. This is one of the few pieces of media that I've consumed in my life that has actually gotten me close to crying, and it's because of this game's beautifully crafted stories, well-developed characters, and its interesting gameplay. But today, I hope
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that gameplay, I don't know about the gameplay, but a lot of people glaze the game because of the story, the characters, world building, and whatever. Like that's the main reason why people glaze this game. So hey, if the gameplay is as long as the story is like really good and the characters are really well written, then I don't mind the gameplay.
about this wonderful game that has taken up over 200 hours of my life this year, and to explain why
200 hours? Damn.
Not the best gacha games that you can play right now.
Damn, my headphone, my ears about to pop out, bro. I had to put the volume down. This shit blowing my eardrums. All right.
Limbus Company begins with a clock person getting attacked by the lion, only for said lion to then get hit by a wild bus. Ever since the fire trucks came out, this type of violence has been much more common. This clock person is Dante, the main protagonist of the game, who is currently having amnesia, and you know that makes sense because their head got surgically replaced with a clock. I am just going to say this right now. Dante is the best protagonist out of any gacha game, period, and by far the drippiest. Now, I am not the biggest fan of amnesia.
His head is a clock, so hey.
And narratives. It is way
that is
overdone,
interesting,
in my opinion, especially for gachas. However, this is one of the few exceptions that not only does it well, but fucking excels at it. And I'll be honest, I don't like too many gacha MCs, so when I'm given the role of some epic character who's done a lot of things in the past, but they have amnesia now, or someone that is universally loved and is amazing at everything, my thoughts are just...
Yeah, that shit's so boring, dude. That's one of the main things I can't stand when it comes to gacha game stories. They just put the main character there. Oh, the main character is from a different world. The main character lost their memories. And then everybody, right? Every playable character loves the main character. It doesn't matter if the playable character was a villain. Oh, main character turns that playable character that a villain into a nice character, right? It's just, oh my gosh, bro. I'm just sick of it. Just endless glazing for the MC.
Oh, okay.
Which is why Dante is so refreshing, because this feels like a real character. Dante has the foundation of a generic self-insert MC, but the amnesia works here because this is the third game of the trilogy. So if Limbus is your first game, then you're in the same shoes as Dante. And if it's not your first game in the Project Moon world, it still works because Limbus goes beyond the first two games. But what puts Dante into the stratosphere is that their character is not defined by their amnesia. Yes, they lost their memories, but Dante has goals. They talk a lot. They make mistakes, and they learn just as we do. They feel like a real person. And it is so nice to play a gacha game where everyone around you doesn't do tricks on it.
Nigga, is that a dick? Okay. Makes sense. Like, that's why he said do tricks on it. I was like, nigga, is that a dick?
Oh my
Yeah, that's a
god.
dick. See, this is why, like, me, like, I was, like, no longer interested in Wuwa's story. Not even just Wuwa, Genshin's story as well, and all these other gacha games. It's literally just the same thing every single time, bro. New character comes in, and it's, like, if it's a female character, up the female character, they try to, like, you know, like, they just try to, like, glaze the main character, like, the main character. Now, if it's a male character, there's still some glazing there as well. Like, they always try to do that with the MC. It's just exhausting, bro. It's the same shit every single time. That's why people be calling this shit um gathering wives. It's just funny because that's what it feels like. It feels like every single time they introduce a new character, it's just, oh, new character added to MC's waifu collection, bro. Like, come on, bro.
You don't have a harem in this game. These people are not your friends to start out with, and you do not have a singular traveling companion to tell you everything. You have 12 employees that just see you as a boss. You get one meat writer, one, and she only acts like this once she finds out you're the boss. If your title was literally anything different, she would not give a fuck about you. The cast of Limbus Company is such a breath of fresh air. These characters are all
I guess that's
and have their
nice.
own personalities and identities. Project Moon fans are loving that joke right now. These are the 12 sinners, and they are what make Limbus Company Limbus Company. But we'll talk more about them in a minute because right now they are here to fight for us. But just because they'll fight for us, that doesn't mean they'll win. Yes, as we were on the brink of death, our 12 heroes jumped out of the bus just so they could also get their asses kicked. However, what makes this cast of characters special is that they are linked to us. Dante is the ultimate empath. We can wind our clock back and feel that pain too. How far does this pain go, you might be wondering? Well, it extends to death. Now, one would think that upon seeing a power like this, most people would be more considerate.
I was just talking about Armin and then Armin showed up. What are the odds, man? What are the odds?
And more careful around their surroundings, so as to not hurt the one person capable of defying nature. Well, this is how our cast reacts.
Well, these claws ain't for just attracting mates. Bring it on, old man! Bring it on!
Wait, wait! I know tensions are high.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what's going on.
Different sides of the autism
Yo, what
spectrum, and
the?
are based on important figures surrounding literature. We've got Yisang, a depressed nerd who likes to spam his vocal stem.
Anyone know someone who can help us? Anybody. Anybody at all.
I know someone who can help.
If you say you're fired.
이상적이지 않소.
Get out!
Faust,
Regular show was so goated, man. I love that show. But I mean, based off what I'm hearing so far, like, yeah, I guess that is really, really different for Limbus Company. The fact that, you know, a lot of these characters, they're not just fucking glazing and sucking the MC's dick constantly. And because here's the thing, it's when it comes to these characters in a gacha game, I want them to like have their own identity that has nothing to do with MC, bro. Because I've seen that way too many times where, like, whenever a new character is introduced, main character has something to do with that character's upbringing, or like the main character is just tied into whatever is going on with that character. So if that's not happening in a Limbus Company, where like every single character, you know, their upbringing, what they're going through, MC is directly tied into that, it's just like, hey, we'll see, man.
being who appears to be nearly omniscient and acts like Grok for most of the journey. Don Quixote, arguably the poster child of Limbus Company, and is currently hyperfixated with tales of heroism and will not shut the fuck up about it. Ryoshu, a violent, insane psychopath who speaks primarily with acronyms.
Shut your bitch ass up!
Merceau, the unintentionally funniest character in this game, bro straight up punches a woman to avoid a citywide conflict. Honglu, the most beautiful man with homophobia you've ever seen, and is also equipped with a nice smile. That's all there is to him. Heathcliff, the most stable British person you'll ever meet in your life.
Guess he's a murderer.
Probably the most rational and normal normal person aside from all of the trauma. Rodian, a charismatic, charming woman who instead of spending her time on the basketball courts, chooses to indulge in a bit of gambling.
It's fine as
Sinclair,
hell.
someone that can easily be interpreted as a little bitch until you step back and realize, no, wait, everyone around him is actually just insane. Otis, a war veteran who is a D1 meat writer for Authority. And finally, we have Gregor, potential man himself, who is a war veteran that hasn't fully recovered from their past, but overall they're a pretty chill guy. That covers the playable cast, but we're also joined on the bus by its driver Charon and our guide Virgilius. Charon is the cute little mascot driver that operates the man-eating bus, and Virgilius is our tour guide who is about as useful as a knitted condom. Virgil is here to Orifarm, call us an idiot, and tell us what to do. This is just a very brief description of what these characters are like at a first glance, but trust me, there is so much more than what I've let on about. We are in charge of this group of chucklefucks.
Yeah, based off what I'm seeing so far, there's just a lot going on with those characters, which is good, you know, like when there's just a lot going on, like so many personalities clashing, that's potential, you know, that's potential and it's interesting.
And our journey is about going through the different districts of the city so we can obtain the golden bows. Now, what is a golden bow?
Wait, let me go back. I think I missed that.
But trust me, there is so much more than what I've let on about. We are in charge of this group of chucklefucks, and our journey is about going through the different districts of the city so we can obtain the golden bows. Now, what is a golden bow, you might ask? Well, they are branches. That's what we call stems growing from the trunk of a tree. These ones happen to have a golden glow to them. You think I'm being a smartass by saying this when all I'm doing is quoting Virgilius? I told you these people do not fuck with you like that. Hope you don't mind if a white boy speaks a little Italian, but this game's story is divided into cantos. Each canto has two narrative purposes. The first being to find and obtain the golden bows, since the higher-ups at Limbus Company want them for some undisclosed reason. The other purpose being to develop the sinners and learn about their stories. This right here, this is what makes the game so incredible. These characters are more than just an excuse to grab monies from consumers, and this is what separates Limbus Company from other gachas. When gachas design characters, it can very clearly feel like they made certain units with only one goal in mind. But in Limbus Company, you are stuck with these 12 characters for the entire journey. All 12 of them are with you, and each of them have their own stories to
Okay, I like that. I like that. Because I talked about this a lot when it comes to gacha games, you know, characters and, you know, the story. Whenever they introduce a new character, whenever like a new playable character comes, like let's say for example version 3.2 we have a new playable character. That update is pretty much going to focus on that character, right? Once 3.2 is done and we're now in 3.3, the character that we were just talking about in 3.2, yeah, that character doesn't exist. You guys remember Lupa, right? Y'all remember Lupa in Wua. They introduced her, like she was like the first character we pretty much interacted with when we landed in Septimont. And then after that update was done and we moved on to the next update, where the fuck was Lupa? Right? Lupa was nowhere to be found. And that's what I don't like. It's like every single time they bring in a new playable character, it's all right, we're gonna this playable character, yeah, they're only gonna be in the story for just this update, and then after this update we're moving on to the next character. It's like the same cycle over and over and over and over again. And then it's like when we're wrapping up the story for that region, we're gonna bring all the characters together for that region and conclude it, and then once it's done, on to next region, repeat the same cycle. So it's like, you know, it's just I don't like that, you know. It's just that's why like I gave up on the story all the way back in like 2.7, you know, because it was just the same thing over and over and over again, and in every new region it's just, oh, introduce new characters, and then once we're wrapping up the story, in like the last patch for that region, bring them all together, do like a grand finale, and then boom, that's it. We don't see those characters ever again. And that's why like a lot of people were excited to see Yang Gang again. Right? A lot of people were excited to see Yang Gang because it's like, damn, like when was the last time we saw Yang Gang in a damn story? Like, shit. Years. You know? So being able to stick with these characters, like these same characters throughout the entirety of this game, that's pretty good, bro. That's pretty good.
Go through independent of just finding a cool stick. These stories are dark. They talk about some pretty mature themes. War trauma, overcoming your past, nihilism, coming to terms with reality, and so much more. There's a reason why this game is rated M. Just look at what shows up on the loading screen. This looks like a Twitter user's DNI list. These characters have seen some shit, and learning about them and what makes them who they are is one of the biggest appeals to this game. These don't feel like characters designed for a video game to make money. These feel like characters written for a story. Yes, they are using the visual novel format to convey the narrative, so you get situations where the writing is really intense and emotional, but the character sprite just looks like this. The writing and dialogue in this game doesn't treat you like a child.
Now I will say though, like that can be a downside for me personally. Like when I'm just sitting there reading and then like the character just standing there. Because I think I did this with like PGR. Like if you guys ever played PGR, like they just show you the character just standing there and you're just reading, the dialogue, but you don't really see what's actually happening, right? So I will say that's a downside because I actually want to see what's going on. Like I want to see, what's actually happening versus just, just reading. But if they can tell the story, like if they're able to like tell the story just through words and I can actually understand what's going on just through words and just looking at the character, then that's just fine with me, right? That's fine. As long as I'm able to actually understand what's going on by just simply reading.
Trust that you can read, and they don't waste your time with bloated, incessant talking. Nearly every bit of dialogue has a purpose in this game, to either strengthen character interactions or the world. And they've got some straight heat in this game.
물러나자. 더 혹독한 겨울을 주자. 아우의 품을 짐작할 길이 없겠구나.
Learning this game's world and characters is
Too much glazing, man. Too much glazing.
one of the best recent gaming experiences I've had, and it's one that I dare not spoil here because I do not want to take this away from anyone. This game is anything but predictable when it's come to its stories. These sinners don't always get their character arcs resolved at the end of Kanto's. The team doesn't always get the golden bow, and there isn't always a happy ending where everyone sings Kumbaya and has a dance party. No, there is no form.
See, and that's the thing too. It's like if I can literally predict, right, the story, I can predict what's gonna happen to that character without even going through the story, then that just shows how like repetitive the story is in a lot of these gacha games. And that's what I felt when it came to like Genshin Impact back when I used to play that game, because I was interested in Genshin story back then, but I lost interest when they dropped Natlan. But every single time they would introduce a new character, I'm like you guys remember Zhao, right? Y'all remember that one moment when Zhao, when he was falling off that cliff, he was falling down to like the abyss or some shit, and some people thought, "Oh, is Zhao gonna die?" I sat there, I'm like, "Bro, he's not gonna die, bro. Like, ain't nothing gonna happen to this nigga." And then boom, Zhongli saved him. Like, you see, like nothing's gonna happen to him. It's predictable. Like, it's just the same thing every time, dude. Like, they tell you that character story. They try to like show you like a moment where, oh, this character is in danger, but it's like I don't really feel anything whenever I see that character in danger because I know they're gonna be fine. Like nothing is happening. Like when it comes to the risk factor in a lot of these gacha games, the risk factor is just non-existent. That's why whenever I see like something going on with that character and they're in danger, I don't feel anything. I think what was that character? Amyth, right? Where people were like, "Oh, are they gonna bring Amyth back? I don't think she's gonna come back." It's like, really, bro? Like, obviously she's gonna come back, bro. Obviously. So yeah, being able to predict the story and just like come to the same outcome that everybody's gonna be fine at the end, you know, it's just that's why I lost interest, bro. I lost interest when it comes to these gacha game stories because it's just the same thing every time. Pretend like that the character's in danger, pretend that the character's gonna lose their life, but at the end they're totally fine.
Formula for the story aside from depression. But that's what makes those happy moments in the story mean so much more. If we get a golden bow on Kanto X but not on Kanto Y, Z, then that one on Kanto X means more. And I know I said that I wouldn't spoil this story, then proceeded to reveal that we don't always get the golden bows, but I think that most Limbus fans would agree that this revelation is not what you are going to remember the story for. Kanto 1 is not about whether or not we get the golden bow. It's about Gregor and the trauma he went through and his failures. Kanto 5 is about getting direction in life. Kanto 7 is about escapism and the harms that it can bring. Yes, the golden bows are important, but that's not what these Kantos are about. You are playing them for the characters, and these characters actively change, learn, and grow throughout the story. Yisang is not the same person after Kanto 4. Prior to Kanto 4, I didn't give a fuck about this guy if I'm being honest. He was just some dude that would pop up every now and then spam his voice line. But after Kanto 4, he might be the GOAT.
Like him and don't like him is nothing you could do about him because he's number one. Whether you like him or don't like him is nothing you can do about him because he's.
We're like 9 minutes in the video, guys, and we haven't even touched gameplay yet. So yeah, that just confirms that the best thing about Limbus Company is just the story and the characters.
Number one.
There is so much more I could tell you about the narrative of this game, but I cannot in good conscience do that because I do not want to spoil this for you. The only thing I will say is that if you are considering giving this game a shot, I would recommend finishing up to Kanto 3. Kanto 1 is probably the best introductory story I've seen in a gacha, but it does have some problems. Kanto 2 is widely regarded as the weakest one in the game, but it's still like a 6 out of 10, I would say. And Kanto 3 is where they really get their feet planted with how they format their stories. These three Kantos are the best way to view if you'll be hooked by Limbus Company, because they set the foundation. Kanto 1 has dark themes and graphic imagery, while Kanto 2 is more lighthearted and has plenty of character interactions between most members of the cast. Kanto 3 is is a perfect blend of these two in my opinion, which is why I think completing the first 3 stories is the perfect benchmark for whether you should play this game or not. When it comes to stories in gacha games, there is a very clear difference between this is good and this is good for a gacha game, and Limbus has a great story.
Yeah, I'm glad he pointed that out because when it comes to gacha games, gacha games they aren't the same as actual games that have story in it. Because it's like, once again, bro, when you look at a lot of these gacha games, they all do the same exact thing, bro, where new playable character equals, oh, that character is only going to be relevant for that patch, and then after that the character, you won't see them ever again. Like it's the same formula for all of these gacha games. So whenever people say, oh, this story is good, but it's like, it's good for a gacha game, right? That's why whenever people say, oh, Genshin's story is the best, people are like, nah, it's the best in gacha. I mean, and that's entirely based off of how you feel, right? I'm just stating this as like an opinion. But if somebody comes in and says Genshin Impact has the best story ever, people are gonna look at you silly and say, ain't no fucking way you said Genshin Impact has the best story ever. If you said that Genshin Impact has the best story in gacha, then that's a whole different discussion. We can actually debate about that. But saying that Genshin has the best story ever, I don't know about that, bro. But when you look at this game, now I never played this game before, but if you can confidently say that this game has great story, but not just in gacha, but it has great story in general, then okay. And it's definitely doing something different that these other gacha games aren't doing.
Now that we've briefly talked about the story and the game's interesting characters,
I'm like, what do you say me for?
let's look at the other mechanics that this game has to offer. First up is
Okay.
the gacha. Yes, this game
All
has
right,
game.
so let's go back here.
Let's look at the other mechanics that this game
Y'all know how I am when it comes to the gacha, because that's like the main thing about these games. It's the gacha. It's a gacha game,
has to offer. First up,
All right, what we got going on here? Standard extraction. So, okay, standard banner. Target extraction, Aldis. And whatever this is, new identity target extraction. There is so much going on here. Holy moly.
is the gacha. Yes, this game has gambling in it, but Limbus goes one step beyond and makes their casino relevant to the plot. I said that there was only 12 playable characters in this game, and I did mean that. So what exactly are you gambling for if the game already gives you everyone to start out with? The answer is outfits. These are identities, and they are alternate versions of the centers from other universes. These identities are based off of various associations of the game's lore and even characters from the story. So now we can answer questions like, what would this sexy beast look like if he was French? Some of my personal favorite identities include Bad Bitch Gregor, the Sinclair that kills himself,
책임을 다하지 못했으니
So you're pulling for cosmetics. I'm all ears, man. I'm all ears. What's going on?
그에 맞는 벌을
and Magic Bullet Otis.
Ooh, her design is
Here's my other
sick.
favorite idea. And
Hold
Magic
up.
Bullet
I like that. Yo, she look cool.
Otis. And here's my other
That's
favorite ideas
crazy.
for those that are curious.
That is crazy. That is a crazy flip, bro. That is insane.
The rates for these banners are pretty generous compared to most modern gachas, but there is a catch. There is no soft pity, there is no hard pity, and there is no true guarantee system.
500 cigarettes.
And when you first hear this, you might be thinking, this sounds greedy and predatory as hell. And it
Yeah.
does, but remember how earlier I said that this company hates money. I mean that.
Say thanks.
Because if you want a 3-star unit, then you can just shard them. Or wait for the developer team to make a simple mistake, then they'll just give you one. Seriously, this is the most generous gacha game ever. They give out like a free 3-star ID every 4 months, it feels like, all because they accidentally put 2 R's in Merceau's name. Shards are another form of currency in this game that
Why don't other gacha games do this? Like, like you guys know, whenever you log in and then you check your mail and then it's like an apology saying, oh, we apologize guys for like this bug on this character, we fixed it. Here's like what, 100 pulls, not 100 pulls necessary, but like let's say 100 crystals, 100 astrites, 100 primos. Nigga, give me a free character, bro. Give me a free character. You see, this is a W, man, because like it's not like you finna lose $1 million, right? You ain't finna lose $1 billion, like a ton of money because you gave out a free character, bro. Like, come on, bro. Not even just a free character, at least a free standard character, bro. Like, that shit is so crazy to me, dude. And whenever you say stuff like that, people gonna call you greedy, and not call you greedy. They're gonna call you actually, yeah, they're gonna call you greedy, saying that you're ungrateful and all this BS. It's like, bro,
can be used in the back of the bus to get whatever
annoying.
character you want. For example, this Rhodian unit right here, I could just straight up go to the bus right now and get her, but I don't like charge units, so I'm not going to do that. Shards can be obtained.
So y'all can let me know in the comment section down below. Whenever the devs make a mistake, do they actually give you a free like character whenever they make a mistake? Because if that's actually the case, that's crazy, bro.
Pulls and opening boxes that you get from the battle pass, and they're pretty easy to get, honestly. The only bit of FOMO this game has is getting units from the previous season, because you have to wait another season for them to be available. This is my current struggle with Orifice Gregor.
But I want it now!
The other bit of FOMO is Walpurgis Knocked, which is a special event that comes around once every who knows at this point to give players a chance of limited egos and units. Unless it's a character within these restrictions, getting the unit you want really isn't that difficult. Every 3-star ID costs 400 shards, from the dog to even the cracked ones. It is all the same cost. And after playing for a while, it'll get to the point where gambling really isn't even worth it, because you can just wait like 7 days, get the unit from shards, and save your pools for a character that you really want in the future. But that still won't.
I can't really judge if this is good or not because there's just so much going on. So I'm gonna let him cook. I'm gonna let him cook because like there's just a lot going on. Like the UI is insane. There's just so much going on. So I'm gonna let him cook, bro.
Save my child's college fund. My personal experience with the gacha has been pretty good, all things considered. Like I said, the rates are pretty generous. My first ever 3-star was an announcer of a character that doesn't even show up until like 50 hours of playtime. And when I got this, I thought, wow, so it's gonna be one of those gacha games, huh? But after that, and even now, I get 3-star characters pretty consistently, and even if I don't get the character I want in like 30 to 50 pools, I can just shard them later. I already have all of the characters that were available for this season's run, and the one I don't have is one that I don't want. I really don't care for charge. I'm fully aware that luck does play a part into this, and that is a common trend I have where I'm the lucky son of a bitch in every game that isn't my fucking job. In general, as someone who has spent probably like $105 on a game that I've been playing since April, I think I've gotten a pretty good amount of 3-star units from both pools and shards. You can spend money on banners, but there is no point in wailing. Once you get a character, you've got them at the highest potential. There's no constellations or anything like that. All you gotta do is level them up. So if you get 3 of these
Okay, that's good because I was about to ask that. You know, is there like a constellation system where you have to get dupes on a character? That's good. You don't have to worry about that bullshit.
in a banner, then all you got was one of those
Yo, the drip is insane, dude. Holy. I ain't gonna lie, bro. They got some drip.
100 Merceau shards. Whaling is really not necessary in this game, I promise you. All in all, the gacha is still gacha at the end of the day, but this is by far the most lenient one I played. And I think the reason for that is because they put most of the randomness into the... Alright. To the most,
This is the gameplay, man. What the fuck am I looking at? This looks weird. Like, I've never seen something like this before, so I already know this is their HP, right? This is their health bar. But what is this, bro?
Interesting part about Limbus Company, the gameplay. Let me just show you one turn of combat. Yes, it seems like a lot, but let me
Holy brain fart. What the fuck was that?
break it down for you. At its core, Limbus Company's gameplay is about making sure your number is bigger than their number, but it's so much more than that. Way more than that. I've never seen a system where all you have to do is roll a bigger...
So that's what makes it gotcha. Okay. Okay, very interesting. So it's like a twist. It is a gotcha game, but the gotcha is in the actual gameplay. That's actually interesting, bro.
Number than your opponent be so complicated, but I will go over the basics of the game, and I mean basics. Each character has 3 combat skills and a defense skill. These numbers down here show you how many of the skills you have, and the order that these skills appear in is random. Yes, they come down like slots. When in battle, you will select your skills and clash with an opponent. As a clash begins, you will see these numbers flipping around. The number in the icon is the base power of the skill, and the number above that is how much will be added on whether or not you get heads on a coin toss. Yes, a fucking coin toss. Whoever gets the lower number loses 1 coin, and this process keeps going until someone becomes a broke bitch, and the winner can flex on them.
Pick a number 1 through 10. 10. 10, okay. So I'm gonna flex on you 10 times. 1, 2.
When the clash,
I saw that clip, bro. That shit was funny as hell, bro.
gain sanity, which is this circle over here. Your sanity is what gets added or subtracted to 50 and affects your odds of the coin toss. Everyone has a base sanity value of 0, but as you win a clash and defeat enemies, this number can increase up to 45, but if your allies die or you lose clashes, it can also decrease to values of negative 45. So either way, your chance of hitting heads or tails is never fully 100%, and trust me, you will definitely notice that. Okay, when you pick your attacks, you might spot some text that appears next to them. Hopeless, struggling, neutral, favored, and dominating. These tell you about your chances of winning said clash, but don't always believe them. I will never forget this one fight I had in Kanto 8, where my 45 SP Faust got tails on a coin flip, while the boss with negative 20 SP got heads on all 5 coin flips and nuked my whole team with 1 attack. In the event that your clashes are not favored or dominating, you can choose to use an ego if you have the proper amount of Sen resources. Each attack has an...
Which one do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer gotcha in gameplay, right? pretty much like gambling and gameplay, or just like gambling for characters, pulling for characters? Which one do you guys prefer? Because this is just RNG. This literally just it's based off of your luck, to be honest. Right? That's literally the gameplay. It's based off of your luck. So which one do you guys prefer? Y'all let me know in the comment section down below.
Affinity associated with them based on the 7 sins: wrath, lust, sloth, pride, envy, gluttony, and gloom. Yes, greed isn't here. I guess gluttony's fat ass ate it, then got sad, so now we have depression.
I'm such a fat fucking chud.
But most newer players will just refer to them as their colors, since that's easy to remember. But don't worry, because as you play longer, these sins will become intertwined with said colors, and you'll become the coolest kid in kindergarten. Alright class, what color is this? Blue! Fools. I scoffed to myself. That's pride. If you've got the resources, you can activate an ego, which is the closest thing to an ultimate that you can use in this game. This is how you get the big numbers for clashing, and you might be asking, why didn't I just use an ego during that Kanto 8 fight? And joke's on you, because I did, but still lost. Yeah, you know what you did wrong. Keep staring at that wall. Most, or some of the time, your egos will win, and their effects vary greatly. Seriously, these things are all over the place in terms of what they can do. Each of the sinners have their own base egos that range from Don Quixote giving back shots to blowing someone's head smooth off, and whatever Gregor's going through.
Those animations are crazy.
But these
My
skills do
gosh.
have a cost. Egos take away sanity, so technically you can spam them if you have the resources, but they will gradually make you go insane to the point of corrosion. When normal characters go to negative 45 sanity, if said character does not have a special ego, aka a gacha one, they will just not be able to move for one turn. However, if they do,
I feel like I'll be able to understand this when I actually play the game myself, right? When I actually get my hands on the game and I actually try it out myself, then I'll actually understand what's going on. But getting everything from like this video, nah, bro. This shit confusing as hell.
a special ego, then they corrode, turning into a fucking monster that attacks randomly on field. These animations look really cool, but it's also pretty annoying when your Yisang has a nasty lineup on B site, only for him to then nuke your entire team. That is the very basic principle of Limbus Company gameplay. Get the higher number, win clash, and have high sanity. But what happens when you actually hit your opponents? Once you deal damage to enemies, your equipped characters might induce some status effects onto your foes. In terms of the status effects, there's approximately a metric ton of them, so allow me to just go over the main 7. Burn. This is linked with Wrath and makes it so that enemies take a certain amount of damage at the end of every turn. These are what the cool kids use. Bleed. This damage activates every time a coin rolls. A pretty fun status condition to use on your team, but an absolute bitch and a half to go against. These are what alphas use, and the same people that crush ants when they're walking. Trimmer. This makes it so that enemies get staggered easier. These are what people who are currently bored with the game use. Rupture. Whenever enemies
That
get hit,
Bowser
take
shit
true damage
funny,
based
bro.
off of the rupture potency. This is tied to gluttony, which makes sense considering the best team takes 11 units to run. What a greedy fucking fat ass. People who run this status are nerds and are the summer ants that get crushed by bleed enjoyers.
I'm just gonna stump you. You're gonna keep coming back. I'm gonna seal up all my cracks. You're gonna keep coming back. Why? Because you keep smelling the syrup.
Sinking. This status makes it so that enemies
LTG at his prime, bro. That nigga was funny as fuck, bro. But yo, that nigga fell off, bro. Still funny as shit though.
lose sanity as they take damage. The people that play Sinking are the same players who will say this game has baby mode difficulty simply because they reduce the enemy's chance of attacking to 5%. Poise. This makes it to where your characters can crit. Typically beings with large amounts of testosterone run this. And lastly, we have Charge, which improves certain skill effects. People who run this team are players that are trying to convince themselves that it's fun.
This is great. Granted, it takes some time to chew.
Team building is what makes the gameplay so addictive in my opinion. Assembling a team of quirky IDs and finding out which ones work best together based off of their descriptions or team building sites is one of the most satisfying things you can do in this game. Especially when you enter the in-game mode and see your numbers stack up to 99 and watch as enemies...
This game has in-game?
Honestly, just in general,
Interesting.
the game is at its most fun when you think.
I did not expect a game like this to have in-game, to be real with y'all, bro. Because a lot of people, whenever they talk about Limbus Company, they mainly talk about the story. So I'm assuming, like, okay, like, this is essentially just like a just a story game. So when it comes to like actual like in-game content shit, like it's really not there, but it is interesting.
Coming up with a team, finding strategies to use against bosses and their mechanics is what makes this gameplay interesting, and it works really well in that aspect. When you start from nothing every fight and watch as your team slowly builds up as the battle progresses, you're getting bigger damage numbers, more heads on coin tosses, more status effects proccing. You can literally feel the tide shifting in the battle, and it's so satisfying. And I haven't even talked about the sound design to go along with the combat. Oh my god. The sounds in this game are so crisp and satisfying to listen to, especially the
Audio
coin flips.
overload.
I have to change my underwear every time I play this game just because of the mess I end up making listening to pure bliss. And it's also
I did not need to see that, bro.
Ding 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 ding.
I ain't gonna lie, it does sound satisfying. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It actually does sound satisfying.
Ding 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 ding.
Could you shut the fuck up? Jesus Christ.
But it doesn't just stop with the coin flips. The attack sounds have so much weight to them. There's so much just... You feel a blunt attack hit, you can tell that they use their fucking fist for that one. The voice acting in this game, stellar. Amazing.
The glazing is over 9,000.
그래도 괜찮으니까 내게 줘. 어머니께서 여기서 자르신다 해도 나를 짓밟아 귀엽고 객기만 떼어놓은 모든 것들을 자루 안에 담아서 언제든 지옥까지 끌고 다니며.
I ain't gonna lie. That nigga was going off, bro.
Do it again.
싱클레어.
And the music, it goes so hard. And that's just the background music. I haven't even talked about the music that the band Millie has made for this whole franchise. Going back to Library of Ruin, it's been banger after banger after banger, bar after bar. They do not miss.
Now, I did see a lot of people glazing the music too. All right, so we should probably check that out. I'm probably gonna check that out tomorrow. But yeah, a lot of people definitely glaze Limbus Company music. So yeah, that sounds dope.
A good game? Yes. Is
Hey
Limbus
yo, what the fuck you doing here?
Yes. Is Limbus perfect? Fuck no. This game does a lot well, but there are some criticisms that I would like to point out. Wacky Dog is about to get serious for a second.
All right, let's see the criticism. Let's see it. So this is the criticism segment of his video. All right.
Criticism I want to address is the gameplay. You want to know one of the reasons why people don't really talk about Limbus? Well, aside from the absent marketing, this is probably one of the biggest reasons. Yes, I do like certain parts of the combat, and like I said, when the
the gameplay is definitely a huge turn off, but like it definitely is for me though. Like just the way it looks,
absent marketing, this is probably
like me personally. It's like I don't know, bro. Like like I said earlier, bro, the story has to carry so hard to the point where I could look past the gameplay and play the game purely for the characters and the story. I know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Probably one of the biggest reasons. Yes, I do like certain parts of the combat, and like I said, when the game encourages you to think, it is pretty fun and engaging, having to pay attention to the boss's abilities and reading their descriptions rather than just making sure your number is bigger. But at the end of the day, that is mainly what matters. One of the biggest memes in the Limbus community is this little button over here called win rate. Win rate is basically auto battle. It selects your best skills that have the highest chances of winning a clash. Win rate is what most of your combat experience is going to look like, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because I enjoy having to think and strategize in this game, but there's not many opportunities that warrant that unless you're fighting a major boss. Seriously, most people say that win rate can only get you to the end of Kanto 4, but that wasn't the case for me. I was able to just use win rate until like Kanto 5. Those who've played the game probably understand what happened to me.
At all the games, just one game I need you to coach.
I never did that before. But, I mean, I could try.
One time, come up with say it with me, a play. A play.
Hey. Yeah, I got you.
But even after that ass-kicking, win rate is still a pretty viable option for most of the fights you'll have in this game. Thinking is fun, reading is fun, but when you have a button that clears like 75% of the content, why would I even waste my time?
So win rate, you just automatically win with win rate, right? If that's the case, yeah, that can definitely make the gameplay really, really boring because I just automatically win at the end, you know. So yeah, that's definitely.
But trying to think. Win rate isn't
That's definitely a problem.
With the combat, but ultimately, it is my choice as the player to press set button, and I recognize this. It keeps the game casual, and it's nice to use on those days to where I just really can't be bothered to think, but I do wish this button wasn't so strong that I could clear basically every fight that isn't Millennia. But like I said, they aren't forcing you to press win rate. There's just not a lot of instances where you shouldn't be. However,
I mean, shit, even though you're not being forced to press it, just knowing just knowing that you have that option, you're gonna press that shit no matter what, right? Now, I can speak for myself. I can't really speak for him, but me personally, like if I know that button is there, and like let's say I'm trying to think in the fight, I'm just mainly going through it, and I just see win rate, I'm like, all right, bro, I don't feel like thinking no more. Let me just click that shit because I have that. I literally have the option to, so I'm just gonna do it.
my biggest problem with the combat is that everything revolves around clashing. In order for anything to be done in Limbus, attacks have to clash, and clashing in itself is a very RNG-based gimmick. There will always be a chance of an attack rolling tails, causing you to lose, no matter if you have 45 sanity. And yes, the randomness can be exciting at points, but it can also be extremely frustrating.
My fucking hell, Morgan! On my hell house!
especially towards late game Limbus in the story, to where it can feel like if you just lose one coin toss, then your entire run is dead. Whether it be towards the end of a fight and then you just lose because they have a nuke, or at the very beginning of a fight to where you start a clash, lose neutral, and now all of your attacks are struggling, so you might as well just restart at that point. I feel like I have a higher chance of getting a 3-star in a 10 pull than I do of winning a neutral clash at numerous points in this fucking game. You should have rolled better. How about I roll my nuts on your face?
Get that ass, man.
Unbreakable coins. Unbreakable coins are the bane of my existence. For the uninformed, Kim Ji-hoon created unbreakable coins after being inspired by Germany's actions during World War II. This is why the coin color was chosen to be red. I rest my case. For those who don't play the game, I mentioned how if you win a clash, the enemy loses 1 coin. Unbreakable coins do not go away, meaning that if they lose the clash, the attack still goes off, but with heavily reduced damage. Now, I can live with getting hit for 4 damage. That's fine. But it's the 15 stacks of bleed that piss me off. Endgame and Mirror Dungeon. Mirror Dungeon is the endgame mode for Limbus.
Okay, so endgame.
Pretty early on, and I would argue that it's at its best for new players, since it automatically levels up your units to max, giving you plenty of opportunities to try new characters and see if you want to actually invest in them for your normal teams. However, as you play more of Mirror Dungeon, it becomes exactly like the Squidward clip. Mirror Dungeon can be fun when you're trying new teams and seeing how far you can get your status effects to go. However, it can easily turn into a mindless win rate button simulator for an hour. Most of your Mirror Dungeon experience will likely turn into press win rate up until the last node, because there's a chance that but there's also a chance that it doesn't. Mirror Dungeon can become difficult at times, which I do appreciate. But if I'm just trying to do my weeklies, I would like to have more engaging gameplay than me just pressing win rate and watching YouTube on my second monitor for an hour. Because once you catch up to the story, this is it. Limbus Company is just Mirror Dungeon. That's all there is to do, so I just wish there was a more consistent and interesting in-game mode available. The last criticism I have is the XP farming, primarily in the beginning. I'd say that the early game Limbus experience isn't too bad, aside from leveling up characters. These tickets are not worth jack shit. Look at this. I have a level 1 Otis, and if I give her these tickets, it takes her to level 17. And if I do the exact same thing to my level 13 Faust, it takes her to 18. Huh? Until you reach Kanto 4, Node 48. Leveling characters you have is miserable. Once you get past that, it's fine. I don't have any problems. But before that, they might as well just give me a used piece of toilet paper, and it would be just as helpful.
I think one game that had like the worst level up experience was Star Sailors. If you guys don't know what that game is, bro, that game had the worst level up experience ever, bro. Like, I think you literally had to like spend money to literally level up your characters in that game. It was so shit. That's one of the worst like global launches I've ever seen in my life too. Like Star Sailors, that game was just a complete flop. I'm seeing that the game is gaining a lot more money right now through like Gacha revenue, but still though, it's like I ain't playing that game ever again, bro.
This video, I would just like to reiterate that once again. I fucking love this game. Limbus Company is a great game.
I can tell.
It has a phenomenal story, interesting characters, and fun gameplay at times. The magic bullet is about to fire, dominating Clash. I swear to fucking God, if he gets heads on a -40, you will never hear the end of this. I am going! There's so many things that I haven't even talked about that just make me appreciate this game even more. Like how there isn't an RNG-based gear/loadout system. All you have to do is level.
That's good. Okay, that's good. That's good. So there's no RNG when it comes to the whole like gear shit. You just simply level up your characters. That's great. When it comes to like RNG and gear shit, it's definitely annoying for sure. Like, of course, like when you look at games like Woo and stuff like Woo Genshin, whatever. Of course, you can just like equip that character with their set piece, right? You don't have to have perfect stats. But at the same time, you know, it is annoying when like you're trying to get that one sub stat, but you cannot get it, bro. That's what's so fucking annoying when it comes to RNG and like
characters and level up their skills. That's it. Thank God. Even the small details I love, like how enemies get pushed further back in combat depending on how strong the attack is. Your characters will swap sides during animations, and how the British people in the game spell color wrong. Ego voice lines changing after completing contos. Heathcliff's bat even changing after completing his conto. But the best part is when you're done with one of the contos and the main center of the chapter gets to sing the outro song. It's so good. It's so good. Money! Too bad the best one's the first one you hear. And yes, even though I have certain problems with the gameplay, I still play this game daily and enjoy my time here. This game can be extremely casual at many points, but it can also provide me with a nice challenge every now and then. But what keeps me going gameplay-wise is that I feel like Limbus respects my time, which is one of the reasons why I support this game so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And as for
yo, these memes that he's been using throughout the video, bro. It's so much going on, bro.
the community, wow.
I was the leader of a very influential group. You mean the cult? You could call it a cult, but I'd say it was more of a movement.
The PM community is definitely passionate, to say the least. I mentioned how there's basically no advertisement.
For sure. For sure. Like, the community, the amount of glazing I'm seeing from the Limbus Company community is insane, bro. It's insane levels of glazing, bro. Like, and the thing is, I don't even see a single ad for this game. I think he's gonna talk about that here, but I don't see a single ad for this game. The community, they're the fucking ad. Literally, the community is literally the ad, bro.
For this game, and that statement is mostly true until you meet a Project Moon fan, because they won't shut the fuck up about it. This fandom is the second generation of JoJo fans, and I mean that in many different ways. From the brain rot to everyone claiming that insert thing is a Project Moon reference, and their media literacy skills. God forbid you're a literature teacher and have a Limbus fan in your classroom. But jokes aside, it is nice to see how dedicated these fans are to not only Limbus, but the series in general. It is a charming energy that I've spectated from the outside. Yes, I see you, sleeper agents. This game's popularity is primarily contributed to word of mouth, but what's so interesting about this game's community, to me at least, is that everyone has a story for how they got into it.
Son, you know, once you start, there's no going back.
I don't think I've ever met someone who just stumbled upon Limbus on the Steam or App Store. It's either they were a Project Moon fan, they saw a video or meme about the game, a friend told them about it, Roblox, or another method. I only found out about this game because of art I saw on Twitter. I saw the words Don Quixote underneath a drawing and said, huh, I recognize that name from a question on an AP US test I took. She looks cute. Then I was bored one day and downloaded the game. Limbus Company means a lot to me, and I've wanted to make a video on this game since June of this year. I even ended up making a whole separate gameplay montage for this game just because of how excited I was to edit this video. There is a lot to talk about with Limbus Company, and I would love to discuss the story, shocking reveals, and incredible boss fights, but I can't in good faith do that to you viewers who might want to give this game a try, because if I spoil this for you, I would feel terrible for robbing you of such a great experience, and this game has given me plenty of those, so I hope that it can do the same for you. This is Limbus Company, one of the best gacha games on the market right now, and one that you should definitely consider playing. Until you lose another dominating clash, fuck this game!
All right, interesting, dude. Yeah, there was a lot going on in this video. All those memes and stuff, it was just too much going on. But yeah, I like the fact that when it comes to the gacha system, right? It's so like, how can I say this? Like, the gacha system, it's so friendly to the point where like people don't really talk about the gacha system, right? The rates seem fine. I think you're pulling for outfits only. I don't know about the only pulling for outfits. I don't know, but you are pulling for like outfits for like characters. I think he talked about 12 characters, and in those 12 characters, they introduced those 12 characters. Let's say the first half of this, like the first half of the main story, and then the characters just cease to exist. No, they're there the entire time, which creates more depth. You're with them while you're progressing through the story. I like that. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of good things about this game. There's also some cons as well. I feel like the main critique I have for the game based off what I'm seeing so far is just the gameplay, right? The gameplay just seems very really But like I said, if the story is really, really good, and if the characters, if they're so good, then like I can look past the gameplay and I can actually enjoy the game for just simply the story and the characters. Plus, if you guys will notice, like when I play Wuwa, like I mainly play Wuwa for the gameplay and the characters as well, because I like the character designs, I like their gameplay. That's the main reason why I play the game. If I didn't really enjoy the gameplay and if I really didn't enjoy the character designs that much, I'm gonna be real with you guys, I don't think I would be playing the game at all, because I don't really enjoy the story when it comes to Wuwa. I will say for 3.5, the story for 3.5 is solid, but other than that, like the story overall on Wuwa, I don't really enjoy it that much. So I feel like me finding a game that's like mainly story focused, right? World building and just characters, I feel like that's good for me, because I'm already playing like a lot of games where I'm mainly focused on the gameplay only and the characters, but I'm not focused on the story at all. So this can be like the story game for me. So hey man, we'll see, man. We'll see. Y'all let me know in the comment section down below. I know there's gonna be a lot of glazing going on in the comment section. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. But yeah, I think the next thing we need to check out is the music. We definitely need to check out the music for this game, because a lot of people hype that up. So we'll probably check that out next. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna try this game. I'm not gonna confirm whether or not I'm gonna play this game, but I'm gonna see. Hope you guys have a good one. I'll be catch you guys on the next one. Adios.